Okay, for this session we're going to have a little look at some coordinate tables. So we have a little table set up, like so. You'll notice in the first table we've got some numbers here, 1, 2, 3 and 0. And these are all going to be different values for the letter X. And what we need to do is fill in the bottom row of this table by following the instructions given at the start of the row. So the instructions say x plus 6. So what this means is we have to look at each of these numbers for x, so 0, 1, 2, 3. And our rule tells us that we have to take all these values of x and add 6 to them. So our rule for this second row is to add 6. So if we have a look at the first value of x, so our first value of x is 0. Using our rule of add 6, we need to add 6 to 0. So that gives us our first answer of simply 6. We move on to our next value of x, so when x is equal to 1, following our rule of add 6, 1 add 6 will give us 7. Moving quickly on to the next one, looking at 2, when x is equal to 2, add 6 would give us a value of 8. Our next value of x is 3, so using our rule of add 6, 3 add 6, which is equal to 9. Having a little look at this next table, so we've got some values of x again. Just be mindful that our values this time are 0, 1, 3 and 5, so a little bit different to what we had up here. And our rule this time looks a little bit more complicated, so we have to look very carefully as to what rules we've got to be following. So, if we have a look at the first part of this rule, we've got 3x, and whenever a number is next to the letter x, it means it's multiplying x. So this first part, 3x, means that we have to times x by 3. The next part of our rule says we have to add 2. So in full, we have 2 steps this time rather than just 1. Taking our value of x, we have to times by 3 and then add 2. So starting with our first value of x, which is 0, we're going to take 0 times by 3. 0 times 3 is still equal to 0. Then add 2, and that will give us an answer of 2. So now in this case, I'm actually just going to write down what we're doing. So we're going to take 0, times it by 3, and then add 2, working it all out. That's going to give us a final answer of 2. Our next number for x is 1, and we're going to follow the same steps again. So 1 times 3, then add 2. I'm just going to write them in. So 1, first step is times it by 3, and then we need to add 2. So 1 times 3 would give us 3, then add 2 would give us an answer of 5. Pause the video, have a little go at the next two. Okay, now I'm going to go through them. So next value of x is 3 this time. So 3, following the steps, 3 times 3 is our first step. Then add 2. 3 times 3 gives us 9. Add 2 gives us 11. Our next value of x is 5. So we're going to do 5 times 3, add 2. So 5 times 3, add 2. 5 times 3 equals 15. Add 2 gives us a final answer of 70. Now you can do these in your head, you don't have to write your steps, but it's useful when you've got a couple of steps just so you can keep track of what you're doing. But those would be your answers for that table. So what I'd like you to have a go at now, I would like you to copy and complete the following coordinate tables for me. Take your time. If you want to write down your steps, you can, but otherwise you can just go straight for the final answer. So pause the video and have a go.